So today we're going to show y'all how to transform. Because as y'all can see, my man's coming in. He ain't had a haircut in like 3 months. Well, the customer wants a trim, so I'm just going to pick everything out to its highest point. Try to get everything picked out so I can cut the hair down. Now I'm coming in with my arch shears. And I'm just going to take like an inch off the top from everything being picked out and go around in a circle. And I'm basically just trying to build a round blowout shaped look. You know what I mean? I know what I want the look of the hair to look like. I know how he wants his hair. And there isn't really a specific guideline on how to do this. I'm just using my eyes here. Like sometimes you just had to look straight at your client from the perspective of like if he was looking in a mirror and imagine how he would want it. And then, you know, make it that shape. So I'm just making it circular, trying to make everything symmetrical. And, you know, I'm cutting the right side. Now, when I'm done with that side, I go to the other side, and basically I'm using my right side as a guideline. I get one side of the head to a nice shape that I like how it looks. I think my customer is happy with how it looks, and then I just match the left side to it. And that's all it is. That's how I trim everything down. Same thing you do to one side, you have to do to the other, even if you got to hold the shears differently. Now I'm coming in with my number 4 guard, and I have it open right now, and I'm coming with the grain. And this is just like kind of slightly blending the bulk in and giving me my fade area. And then I'm doing the same thing coming against the grain. But as you can see, I'm kind of like flicking out and I'm making a little arch. You see that arch right there? And that's just to clear my blend area out. Now I'm coming in, make my bald line. I'm going to bring the bald line up to the top of the ear. And I use trimmers that are not zero gap and not sharpened. And that makes the bald line easier to come out. Now I'm coming in with my lever open. I'm going up about a 1/2 inch. I'm going to ensure that everything's at that length. Then I'm going to do the same thing to the top of the beard. And I'm kind of flicking out at the bottom. And I'm closing it halfway, stretching the skin, hit the top of the beard. Then I'm going to close it all the way. And I'm going to hit the top of the beard. Then I go back and do some detail work. And that's how I blend the top of the beard in, all with one step. And I'm going to do the same thing to the top of the head. Going to close my lever halfway, use my corners, flick at that, close it a little bit more, flick some more, and that bald line's gone. Now I'm coming in with my 1.5 and the lever open, and I'm going to make my second guideline. I'm coming up about a 1/2 inch. I'm just ensuring that everything is at this 1.5 with the lever open length. I'm combing everything back down, going against the grain, ensuring that everything's at that length. And once I get finished this step, I'm going to close it up and hit it again right now. And I'm just going to stay lower than what I did when I did with it open. And it's going to naturally start blending itself out. Now I'm coming in with my 1 open. I'm going to hit the bottom of that line. I'm using my corners. And as you guys can see, it's already kind of naturally blended. And then I'm just going to close that up. And I'm coming back in, hitting the corners and doing some detail work. And that bottom half of the blend is done. Now we're going to work on this bulk. Now I'm coming in with number 3. And I'm kind of flicking out at the top. Just trying to work at it, see how this is going to come together. Combing everything down constantly to see how it's going to be looked when it's combed. Now I'm moving all this excess hair out the way so I can get under and get that bulk from underneath. Now I'm coming in with a 2 open, and I'm just kind of flicking at it, you know, ensuring that everything is coming together nicely. And now I'm taking my Andes, and I'm just going to do some detail work, go over it, smooth everything down, make sure everything is in its place. Then I did the same thing on this side. I cleared the bulk out with the number 4, making sure I have a nice fade area. And now notice my guideline placement here. You see that line I did? That's going to be my C cup right there. And then it's going to blend out underneath it. So this whole space right here, you see how it makes a straight line? Yeah, that whole space is going to be blended out in that corner. And the front is going to be where I do my C cup for my sidebar. So now I'm coming fading the beard again. And again, just notice the steps. Try to memorize the steps that I'm doing, Because once you know the steps, you can keep doing it. You just got to practice and keep getting better. Remember this lever play. If you go up in the guideline, you open your lever up. If you go down in the guideline, you close the lever. And once you learn that, these bald lines and these beard blends are going to come real easy. Now I'm coming in with my 1.5 open. You know, I'm flicking out, and you can see I'm still leaving that bulk area. I'm closing it up. And that's what I do every step, guys. I just use, all a blend is a higher length of hair going to a lower length of hair. So every time I use a guard, I start with it open, and then I close it. And once you learn this lever play, it just makes fading so much easier. All you gotta do is open and close, and then go to the next guard. And you do the same thing with the bulk, man. You come up, you flick up, it's open right now. And then once I'm done this, do a little shaping, you know, make it look good. Once I'm done that, I close it up, and I go back and I hit it again. And, you know, it's the same steps. Now I'm gonna go ahead and prep the hairline, and how I'm doing that, I'm gonna pick everything out, and I'm just gonna kind of freehand the front of this afro here. That way I don't have any overhang on top of the hairline, and the hairline will be, you know, popping out, because that's what I'm known for. I'm known for the pressure, you know. So I flicked up, and then I cleared that little ridge out, and now I did that to the left side. I'm gonna do the same thing to the right side. I try to keep everything looking very symmetrical, so whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Now I'm combing the front of the hairline down, and I'm gonna hit it with a 1 guard open. I like to hit it with the 1 guard open so it doesn't get it too flat, because I like a more natural look, not a faded or a temped out hairline. I like it to look more natural. So now I'm hitting it with my holding spray, hitting the hairline and the back of the beard. Now the same steps I did on the sides, I want to do in the back. I'm coming with my number 4 guard, and I'm clearing the area, clearing the bulk area, so I can have somewhere to fade. I'm flicking out, constantly combing down, you know, and the back is a little different because it's a little bit more bulky, so, you know, just trying to ensure that I have a good shape here. Now I'm coming in, making my bald line. I'm going to go ahead and open my lever up, make my second line. And again, guys, we're doing the same steps here. It's just in the back of the head sometimes the grain can be growing a little crazy, but make sure you always cut against the grain. If that means you need to cut sideways a little bit, and you need to do that, you need to go to the right side, to the left side of the head. You got to do whatever you do to ensure that the haircut is the same as on the sides, because like I said, everything needs to be symmetrical. It's the same exact steps, guys. So right now I got my 1.5 open. I'm making sure everything is good there. Then I'm going to close it up, hit the bottom, you know, same steps as the sides. And again, this is where I like to tell everybody that, you know, this is the pressure way to cut. This is how I like to do it. This is how I'm going to do my transformations. This is not the right or wrong way, but take what you can learn from here. You know, go look at some other videos, learn from some other people, because there's not a right or wrong way to cut hair. You just got to find your way, find your steps, and keep doing them. Now I'm coming in with my holding spray. I'm going to hit the back of that, and I'm coming in shaping the side of my beard up in a straight line. And after I'm done with that, I'm going to comb the excess hair back across the hairline and hit the hairline one more time. This ensures that whatever way the client combs his hair, the hairline is still going to be there. Now I'm doing the same thing on this side. Now I'm hitting my back. You know, when I get to the curve, I hit the swerve. You know, you got to have hitters for that. When I get around the ear, I'm using my corners there. Using my corners for the front to connect the beard to the back. Now I'm coming in with my Andes open, and I'm just going to, you know, clean his mustache up. Cut everything down. This just makes everything flat. It's not going to cut it all off though. Now I'm coming in, hitting the bottom of the lip, just trying to make a straight line across his lip. And I'm going to hit the top, gently gliding down and making it a diagonal at the point. You know, kind of rounding that edge off. And now I'm doing the same thing on the other side. Like I said, everything has to be symmetrical. And then I'm just gliding down, making the point a little bit more angled at the end. Now I'm coming in the hairline, hitting the straight in the middle, making a solid line in the middle. Then I'm going straight to the left, and as I come to the left, I come back to the right to ensure that everything is straight. This is my guideline. Now I'm going left. Every time I go left, as you can see, I'm going to come back right a little bit. Checking from the front. Guys, when you're doing the hairline, look at your client from the front. So it's like he's looking in the mirror. Because when you're done cutting your client's hair, he's going to look in the mirror. That's what he's going to see. So you want to cut his hair from that perspective. And I do this trick just to clear some bulk out. Hit my corner. And I go over the hairline multiple times to ensure that everything is straight, everything is neat. Wherever I comb over, the hairline's going to stay there. Now I'm coming in doing my sidebar. And once I hit the curve, I hit the swerve, I come straight back with half the blade. And once I get that curve, I hit the swerve. I'm kind of blending that little fade area out. As you can see, it's coming together real nicely. So now I got that side done. Now can you guys guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm still doing some detail work. Like I said, I'm known for my drastic shape up, so trying to make sure everything is right. And take your time with this. This is what your client wants. Take your time with it. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm starting in the middle and I'm coming straight across. And every time I come across, and as you can see, I dig in my corner some. I dig in my corner and I angle the sidebar forward. That's why I showed you it like that. I dig in the corner some and then I angle the blade forward. The blade should be pointing towards your client's eye or his eyebrow. That way, when you angle it forward from the front, it looks straight. Whereas if you were to go straight down, it would look slanted from the front. So now I'm doing the same thing I did on the last side. I'm going in with half my blade, and once I get to the curve, I'm hitting the swerve. As you can see, I'm coming back. I'm looking at both sides, making sure everything is symmetrical. I noticed this side was a little bit lower, so I'm digging in a little bit. It's okay, guys. They want a good haircut. It's okay to dig in a little bit, as far as I think it is, to make everything look symmetrical. Now that the shape up's done, I'm going to come in and I'm going to style the hair. This is the fastest and easiest way you can get natural curls right here, guys. Wet the hair. I put a towel around him so his clothes don't get wet. You know what I mean? It shows professionalism. And now I'm just going to rub the water in. So first you got to get the client's hair real wet and moist. Somebody told me, the wetter the better. And that's what they like to say. I'm not going to tell y'all who told me that. But yeah, now I'm coming in using some leave-in conditioner. And the leave-in conditioner is basically going to soften my client's hair and make sure his scalp doesn't get dry or anything. And it's just soften everything up. And then my client has natural curly hair. So this is going to bring his natural curls out. So right now I'm using the leave-in conditioner. I'm trying to get to the roots. I'm using my fingertips to get to the roots and just making sure everything gets there. Now I'm going there with some curl enhancement cream. And I'm using this cream, and instead of using like a cruddy brush, I'm just going to use my hand as the cruddy brush. As you can see, I'm going in circular motions, and I'm styling it. I'm curling everything up. I'm not really digging in with my hands anymore. I'm just on the top of the head, just twirling the head around, just like how you would do with a cruddy brush or the cruddy sponge. I'm just using my hands because I know my client has naturally curly hair. And this might take an extra 5 to 10 minutes, but you can charge an extra $10 to $15 for a style. This is an added style to your service. So, the styling, the enhancements, it's little extra things that can make your price tag go up. And now I'm spraying it with some holding spray to ensure that everything stays curly and everything stays in its place. So now, as you can see, this is how we're looking so far. No enhancements. Now I'm coming in using enhancements to fill everything in. Make my hairline, fill them light spots in. Give it that pop that he wants. And I'm spraying directly on, constantly moving. Every time I spray, I'm moving the gun around because this gives it a nice even, spray amount so it doesn't look too excessive or too fake. And after I'm done spraying, I come in with the fibers and I spray slightly off of the hairline. As you can see, when I use the gun, the card is right on the hairline, but when I use the fibers, it's slightly off. I do this because you can shape the fibers back up and get an extra sharp look. So I want excess fibers on there. And now I'm coming in, I'm reshaping everything up. And basically everything comes together at this point, because the ink that I use, it leaves a little shine. It looks very realistic, but it leaves a little shine. So I use the fibers to cover that shine out to make it look more realistic. And then I use the fibers to also give me that excess fiber, so when I shape it up again, it's super sharp. Then I spray it with some holding spray. Now I'm coming in with my straight razor. I'm going to hit the beard, and I'm just stretching the beard to a straight line. And once I see a straight line, I'm just hitting a straight line. And once you're done stretching the skin, the beard should go back to its natural curve. I wipe all that excess off, and I go ahead and hit it one more time, ensuring that everything is at its highest point. There we go. And then at this time, I hit the bottom of the beard too, shaping it up with my trimmers that are not zero gap to sharpen. This way I don't irritate my client's neck. You know, doing a little bit of freehand in there, just trying to make everything look nice, you know? Now I'm doing the same thing on this side with the beard. And as you can see, I'm constantly checking the other side. You gotta constantly check the other side, make sure that his beard lines up. If one side is lower than the other, you know, me personally, I think you gotta match them so they can look symmetrical. And again, I'm hitting the bottom of the beard on this side. Exactly what I did on the other side, I'm doing the same thing. Wiping everything off. A little bit of freehand. Ensuring everything's looking good. Now I'm coming in with my Barber pencil. I'm using the beige color. And I'm using like a flat piece of it. And I'm kind of just, you know, making one clean line across. Now I'm going to come in, I'm going to reshape that up. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just digging in and kind of grinding it out. You know what I mean? I'm rubbing back and forth. I'm pushing it out. I'm rubbing it in. I'm just going over the pencil to try to blend it in some more. Because what the pencil is supposed to do is create a different color from the hairline to the skin. It's not supposed to be a chalk line, in my opinion. I don't use it as a chalk line. So I just use it to make the hairline stand out. So then I come in with my straight razor, hit my sidebars, and as you can see, it nicely blend in. So when people come in like this, haven't got their hair cut in 3 months, and they want to trim, they don't want their hair all the way cut off. They want their curls. That's why they haven't had their hair cut. Too many barbers are cutting hair off. So that's why I'm showing y'all how to pressurize and give y'all clients a proper trim. Have them looking like that. That's what they want. They want the curls. They want the temp. They want the beard. Yeah, they don't want their hair cut off. And that's how we coming, man. Everything is pressure. It's nothing but pressure. This is how you do a trim. This is how you transform, fellas. Let's get busy. #PressureBips in the comments.